What's up, everybody? I got this motor for the running board on this thing. These Ford ones always freeze up in the winter time. I always try to lube them up every winter, but it never seems to last till the next winter. So we're gonna replace this. I did the other side already, but we got this side right here. I disconnected it so that it would be in the down position. That seems to work a little bit easier because there's a Torx bolt right here, a T30. It's kind of a booger to get to if you try to do it with it in the tucked position. So I'm just gonna knock this one out real quick. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Pull that guy out. And you got some 13s here. $13 on a little wobble extension. Looks pretty good. Let's crack them loose. Sorry, the lift is kind of in the way here. These really aren't all that bad. This thing came in this is aftermarket. This isn't the Ford one. The Ford one is pretty expensive, so customer opted to do a aftermarket. The aftermarket came in like a unmarked brown bag, so kind of no instructions or anything like that, but pretty well. These impacts like that when the side tuck in pretty good between the frame rails here. Should be good like that. Hopefully you can see that all right, but you just have to disconnect those three 13mm bolts for the motor to hold it on there. You disconnect that T30 that holds it onto the rod that actuates or keeps the both hinges in sync. And then you got these little Allens right here. They are, what is this, like a 5mm, pretty tiny, but you're probably going to need a long little ratchet here like that because they are on there pretty good. Crack them loose like that. They come with blue Loctite from the factory, so they look like they're a T-slot or a T-nut inside here, inside the slot, but they're really not. It just kind of fits in there. So just get your little prying device here, pop it down. It should pop out fairly easily, but there's a bunch of rust corrosion, you know. But that's really it, and then you can get rod. I already disconnected the electrical on it. And that's it. Just make sure not to flex this rod too much because you can bend it or tweak it, but that's really it. The whole thing just comes out in one unit. You can see all this crud and stuff like that. It really keeps it. And the motors get all rusty, and it starts to pinch on them, and then they bind up and don't work. But they go pretty quick. Piece of cake. Let me just get this new aftermarket one and put it all together, and that's it. This is the age-old catch-22. You got to put grease on them to keep the things from seizing on there, but you're supposed to have a little Loctite on there, but Loctite and grease don't mix, so you kind of just pick the lesser of two evils. But once you grease it up like that, you kind of tuck everything. Always put the top, I don't know if y'all can see that, but the top bolt, you got to put it in first, because if you put the bottom ones on, you won't be able to get the last one off. I don't know if it's just these aftermarket ones that the holes aren't exactly right. But if you do that, everything kind of slide in your... These bars are keyed, so don't just jam it in there. And then you're gonna have to help the motor kind of go in there. There you go. All right. Hey, how's it going? And just put some anti-seize on these. All right, put your T30 back in. All right. Like I said, they don't really make these holes slotted, so you kind of have to slide everything over a little bit. Don't tighten anything down until you get it all hooked up. Then add a little redundant blue Loctite to the threads to your little 5mm. Alright. Try to muscle it a little bit. Make sure everything lines up. Which of course it won't the first time, so you gotta persuade it a little bit. You're good. Usually don't take much. Once you got them all started, just back here so you can see. All right. Don't forget to start everything by hand because you will cross thread these tiny little bolts. Start them, zap them. There goes something. Of course, these motors come in the tucked position, but once you hook up the electrical to them, they'll drop down. The biggest pain seems this rod that goes back never seems to line up on the tiny little hole. And then you can just get your thing up here. And put it all together. Switch it out for your little wobble. And that's pretty much it. Now you can hook up your electrical. Could put some dielectric grease in there, but I really don't like to if the weather pack is nice and tight still, which it is. There's no evidence of any moisture getting in there. So that's pretty much it. I still gotta tighten this one a little bit more. Alright. And then just coat everything pretty liberally with the rust inhibitor of your choice. Especially all the pivot points and everything, all the bolts. And put everything in, and that's it. That's all there is to it. You can see here, let me try to get you a better view of everything. That's everything there. That's everything there.
That's that T30 I was telling you. After I get it done and on the ground, I'll lower it down, and then it'll spin this way, so it'll be pointing right here, so that you can get, you know, a ratchet on it and tighten it all back up. But that's really it. Just make sure you lube both sides. They get pretty trashed up. We're doing both sides on this customer's right here. You can see, you just get all nasty. And this aftermarket one, they just come in these plain old boxes here. You know, quality, made in China. That's it though. Piece of cake. Should just open the door and then the running board comes out. Close it. Should tuck back in. So then just tighten up all your little torques while it's in the dropped position. Like that, you can leave your door open. You should, if this lift wasn't in the way. And then just tighten your torques like that and you'll be good. That's it.